I'm a small reviewer and I certainly can't get the tech and cameras to play with before they come out as many other big YouTubers can. But what I'm able to do is to analyze everything they say, check out all the bits and pieces and all the quirks of different cameras, and to provide you with some interesting thoughts, comparisons and buying decisions based on this in-depth analysis. So the recent release of Sony FX6 has made me thinking, isn't Sony killing their cinema lineup with the Sony a7sIII, and isn't the FX6 killing the FX9 also? And what's the best bang for buck among these three cameras? What's good guys, my name is Oleg Nikitin and you're watching No Limits On, the channel about the privilege of being a freelancer, tips and pieces of advice about motivation, personal growth, tech aspects, gear reviews and many more. Welcome to the channel. So let's start with the Sony FX6 and Sony a7sIII, which are $6,000 and $3,500 respectively. Let's start with the audio inputs. Sony a7sIII doesn't have proper XLR inputs, but you can buy K3M XLR adapter for $600 and it comes with a microphone. So the price will be $4,100, but the microphone will be included. Also, Sony a7sIII lacks the ND filters that come with Sony FX6, so you can buy a Peter McKinnon Edition Polar Pro 82mm variable ND filter for $300. So you can adapt this filter to almost any lens. And now the cost is $4,400. And still you have $1,600 more if you buy the Sony a7sIII, K3M and the Polar Pro 82mm variable ND. It's not the best one, not as in Sony FX6, but still it will get the job done. After watching a dozen reviews, I also saw that the FX6 has worse usability than the a7sIII. It lacks the proper tap-to-focus tracking feature, which is very usable on the a7sIII. Also, AF doesn't work in certain modes in the FX6, which is weird, guys. FX6 records 100 and 120 FPS in 4K only in S&Q mode, so no audio. Also, it has worse touchscreen and menu system. FX6 cannot record proper audio without the handle put on, because both XLRs are on the handle and you'll get only the scratch audio from a shitty mic in the body. FX6 doesn't have the IBIS and it records only the gyro data that you can stabilize in post in Gallery Browse, as opposed to IBIS in Sony a7sIII with standard, active and also the gyro data. FX6 allows you to record RAW only through the SDI, not the HDMI, so you'll be able to use only Shogun 7-inch monitor or a bigger one like Odyssey Q. And now about the advantages over the Sony a7sIII. The FX6 has the SDI out, the timecode, S-Cinetone, which allows you to get the Venice-like colors straight out of the camera without color grading it. And it looks fantastic. It features the best-in-class variable ND filter with Auto ND feature. Also, it can record DCI 4K up to 60 FPS, but we have to know that Sony a7sIII is able to record 4.2K as the raw signal, which is even better than the DCI 4K in terms of resolution. Philip Bloom says that FX6 is better in low light than the Sony a7sIII because it has some noise reduction settings, and I agree with him. Also, you can strip down the FX6 to put it on a gimbal, and also it has pretty nice rotatable in any direction screen. But it lacks the EVF, any EVF, and the Sony a7sIII has the best EVF ever made. And now let's talk about FX9 versus FX6, which are $11,000 and $6,000. In my opinion, with this camera, Sony almost killed the FX9, but the FX9 has the 6K sensor with downsampling to 4K and a Super 35 crop, so you can use some APS-C lenses on it. But the FX9 needs an extension unit to record RAW, and it's pretty expensive and big and heavy, and of course FX9 is not a camera for a gimbal. A consumer gimbal at least. FX9 has only 180 frames per second super slow motion, whereas FX6 and Sony a7sIII have 240. Sony FX9 has proper dual base ISO of 4000 and 800, and the FX6 has two modes, the low one, 800, and the high one, 12800, which is better for the low light situations. FX9 records to the XQD cards versus CF Express Type A and the SD-UHS-2, a much cheaper and more popular solution. Also, FX9 doesn't do 4K 120p, only 60p. So now that we know all the quirks, advantages and disadvantages, we can make some suggestions and buyer's decisions. Overall, what you can pull from a camera in terms of image quality for the least amount of cash, A7S III is a clear winner. If you do need exceptional picture quality and you can work around some of its flaws, you'll be a very happy shooter. Also, in my opinion, it's most suitable for raw recording because you can use cheaper Atomos Ninja 5 through the HDMI as opposed to the Shogun 7-inch monitor, a heavier one through SDI on the FX6 and FX9, plus a huge, heavy and rather expensive extension unit for the FX9 to be able to record RAW. If you desperately need timecode, SDI and proper audio professional connectors in a lightweight body with a lot of great features but slightly quirkier menu system and you have spare $2.5K, get the FX6. And if you use Super 35 glass a lot and you need 6K downsampled to 4K for some reason, more physical buttons to control the camera and a couple of more professional features, and you want to impress your clients like I'm a pro, I have a big camera, and the budget is not an issue for you, go for the FX9. There is no good or bad camera in this comparison, it all depends on your needs and budgets. My suggestion is simple, Sony a7S III is going to be a much more popular choice because of its price, versatility, compact size, and awesome video features and great picture quality for everyday usage, small productions, music videos and indie filmmaking. It's a great tool. And if you occasionally have some bigger projects, you can always rent a bigger, better camera for it. For documentaries, the FX6 is a no-brainer. Variable built-in NDs, XLR inputs, lightweight, and great autofocus. And those people who do need the FX9, they know why they need it. Hopefully my thoughts were helpful, guys, and we're moving on to the quote of the episode. A good tool improves the way you work, a great tool improves the way you think. Jeff Dunteman, American writer. And the question of the episode, which camera of these three suits you most? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you like the content on my channel, I'll be highly appreciating your subscription, likes, and hitting the notifications bell. This was Oleg Nikitin and No Limits On. Choose wisely, guys. Take care. Bye.